Thank you for joining me on this morning on ITV, and it is becoming really stiffer as we look at the EDO 2024 race, looking at the gubernatorial race bid for next year. And just yesterday, the deputy governor in the person of Kwame Philip Shaibu, declared interest to contest the 2024 governorship race. And a whole lot of other aspirants have been warming up and, of course, have been up in terms of declaring their intentions to take charge of the #1 seat of Edo State at Osadebe Avenue. And looking at the pedigree, looking at the qualities, the factors that could dictate the race become the crux for which we are here this morning. And joining me, with me first in the studio at my extreme left, I have a Notary Public of Nigeria, a constitutional lawyer, and one-time SSA to the governor strictly on legal matters, Adams Ali. Thanks for coming, Adams.
Thank you, moderator. Good morning, viewers.
And next to the constitutional lawyer, we have a very, very great blend, a public affairs analyst, and not trying to say a political analyst, Chris Ojekere. Thanks for joining me,
Good morning, Philip. Good morning, sir.
And also joining me via Zoom from Texas, Houston, S. Ahmed Mamadou. Good morning, Ahmed.
Good morning, Philip. Good morning, viewers.
All right, so quickly, let's start with our guest in the studio and basically the constitutional lawyer. We have all of this gunning down. 2024 is just close by, and in a few months' time, we're going to be having another governor, another administration in Edo State. Now, what's your thought that you see as what could determine the race or dictate the race as we gradually look at what we have before us in 2024 gubernatorial race in Edo State?
Well, to begin with, Edo State's gubernatorial election 2024 is an off-cycle election, meaning that it's an irregular election vis-a-vis the normal 4-year timetable. After the last exit of military rule in 1999 and the beginning of the present political dispensation, there was 1999 election. But about 8 cases went to court. People were not satisfied with the results. It took time for the courts to judge those cases. By the time judgment was delivered, the winners started counting from the day they were sworn in. So that was the beginning of off-cycle election. We did not have off-cycle election in Edo State until 2007, 2008. Professor Saleme Osunbo supposedly won in 2007 when he took over from Lucky Gbededio, His Excellency. But Comrade Adams Oshomole went to court to challenge the election results. I happen to be one of the lawyers that appeared in that matter for Oshomole. Result was given 2008. Oshomole was sworn in. So Edo State election is now 1.5 years behind the regular timetable. That is why we are going to have our own next year. Then, since the election is at the corner, all types of interpretation, speculation are now rife. We have soothsayers, clairvoyants, some are prejudicial, some are parochial, basing who the factors to affect the governorship election as parochial, sentimental. Some even talk of zoning, tribal, ecclesiastic, etc., which should not be. The main factors affecting the governorship election, they are constitutional matters. Constitutional matters are backed by the Electoral Act 2022. Section 176 up to 179 of the Constitution talks about everything about the governor of a state. 176(1) provides that for each state of the federation there be a governor. 176(2) provides that that governor will be the chief executive of the state. And 177 says that to qualify to be a governor, you have to meet 4 requirements that are sine qua non. 1, you must be a bona fide citizen of Nigeria, not by nationalization, by birth, you must be a Nigerian. 2, you should have been 35 years old. 3, you should be a member of a political party, a card-carrying member of a party, and you should be registered by that party, and that party will submit your name to INEC that this man is our candidate. You should be fielded by that candidate. And 4, you should be educated to up to at least school certificate level. What happens is that during statutory interpretation, all types of institutions come up. When the Constitution says you should be educated up to school certificate level or its equivalent, they do not mean West African school certificate or East African school certificate. It says a school certificate. Primary school is a school. And if a certificate is issued by a school, a primary school, it is a school certificate. School of nursing is a school. If a certificate is issued by a school of nursing, it's a school certificate. Constitution says you should be educated to that level. It didn't say you should even pass the exam. You should have just had lecture to that at the beginning of that. Then, when we say you should be a member of a political party and be fielded by a party, it means that you cannot be an independent candidate. You don't just wake up, raise up your hand, or go to INEC to say, I want to contest the election. It is your party that will submit and transmit your name. So these are clear. So these are the factors. And thereafter, anything that is not in the Constitution, as I've stated before, one, is just prejudicial, speculative, ethnic, etc.
Or we could also say conventional.
Yes, and ordinarily, when you are submitting, when the party is submitting your name, they must add a running mate.
Thank you for that articulation. Basically, we are speaking with a constitutional lawyer, and it's expected that you will give us the content of the Constitution as regards qualification for the office of the governor or to contest the post.
Yes.
And looking at what you've just said, a whole lot comes to mind, because we've had this convention where it's been said that, well, each district or each senatorial district should at a time, produce the governor. Now, we had it when even the Edo North produced the governor, and Edo South still having the governor. And it's been said that there should be a paradigm shift for the Edo Central to take the center stage of the political space. What do you make of that as regards what should be in terms of having parties, feeding candidates for this 2024 GUBER race? Chris.
Well, thank you. First to say that the Daddy's submission has shown that when we say issues and factors that will determine the 2024 election, it is eclectic and it is numerous. And so he has taken the legal angle as a lawyer, and you are asking me as a political scientist, and that's the angle from where I'm going to look at it. Governance, politics are all political science. And when you are dealing with political science, you are looking at equity, you are looking at balance, you are looking at whatever would be that will make everybody feel a sense of belonging, integration, and unity. Now, Edo State is a tripod, as you may say of the Nigerian state loosely. Nigerian state loosely is a tripod. So we talk about the, the north, the southwest, and the east. Now, Edo State itself is also a tripod, and it is standing on that tripod. And that simply means that you need that tripod to maintain social equity, to maintain a sense of belonging and integration among the citizenry. And that's very important if you are going into politics and if you are going into representative governance.
Yeah.
Now, which is what we run in Nigeria, representative governance. So, as you rightly put it when you were introducing that topic, every other part of Edo State, Edo North and Edo South, have felt a sense of satisfaction that they've been well represented in Osadebe Avenue. But there is a part, the Edo Central, have not had reason to feel that sense of satisfaction. And they have not also been silent about it. They have voiced it severally. In fact, they voiced it in the last 2020 election, and the argument was that allow Edo South to also do 8 years, as the previous government have just done from Edo North. And so there was that tacit understanding among Edo people that by the time Edo South finishes in this year, we should begin to look to Edo Central for us to be able to maintain that sense of belonging and integration. So there's a strong argument that the political trajectory right now, as far as the governorship race is concerned, should swing in the favor of Edo Central. And this itself is not by any means mutually exclusive to competence, because the argument people use is that when we begin to talk about zoning and we begin to talk about ethnic extractions, we are sacrificing competence.
Of course,
I don't
yes.
see that competence and equity are mutually exclusive. They are not. Now, every zone in Edo State can produce as many governors as you can require. We all have the same form of education. It is not only Edo South people that attended Edo Boys College here. Edo Central people were well represented there. Edo North people were well represented there. University of Benin, not the University of the world. Edo is a state that has competence in all of the senatorial areas. So what we should be looking at is demand from Edo Central that has competence. Competence to be able to understand the issues that Edo State would have to deal with 24 going forward. That's what we are going to be looking at, not whether the man, because we say it's from Edo Central, should come from Edo Central, we are sacrificing competence. We are not sacrificing competence. You sacrifice competence if you are choosing a man that falls below the standards, that falls below the expectation of the kind of governor we'll be needing in 2024. It is only after that choice that you can begin to say we have sacrificed competence, to ethnicity. We are not going to do that. Okay. So Edo people think that we have enjoyed relative peace in this state. We have real peace because we, to a very large extent, irrespective of the fact that we have 3 senatorial districts, we are highly homogeneous in our sense of thinking in Edo State. We may have a lot of ethnic groups, but we have a common worldview. And that has made us very, very homogeneous and very, very cooperative with each other. Yeah. And so we have enjoyed relative peace. If you go around Benin City, Esan people have almost as many houses as Benin people have, and so it's half a mile. And so you can say for all other parts. We want to maintain that, because the moment you introduce that, that's what is bedeviling Nigeria today. Nigeria does not feel a sense of equity. And that's why you find that when people are appointed, or elected into position, like the president is now being accused of Yorubanizing the government. Buhari was accused of Fulanizing the government. And the reason why you have that fear, that tension, is because of this lack of, a sense of equity, a sense of integration. So everybody is thinking, if I get there, it's my turn. We cannot afford to introduce that in Edo State. All right. Obaseki has not been accused, even if it's from Edo South. Nobody has had the courage, nobody has had any reason to accuse Obaseki of being pro-Edo South, even if it's from Edo South. He's been an Edo citizen, he has ruled Edo State as an Edo governor, and everybody has felt a sense of belonging. So there's no reason why, if you have an Esan governor, will not also have the same sense of belonging. That's what we should be pursuing, rather than say yes.
Thank you, thank you. I think you just set it straight, though the constitutional lawyer gave a foundation upon which we started the discussion, and Chris Ojekore brought another shift to it. What the Edo Central will be calling a paradigm shift, not just the Edo Central. A lot of minds are looking at the need to have a paradigm shift in this direction of having, power being shifted to the Edo Central, who have not been able to have a feel of Osadebe Avenue. I don't know if your thoughts are different, Ahmed Mamadou.
Regarding the power shift
yes.
to Edo Central. Yes, my thoughts are more political. First of all, let me thank you for inviting me on the show. And my few cents that I can contribute in this regard are this. Edo Central does not have the political numbers to dictate the direction of the political context that is going to happen in 2024. It is sad, but it is true. Now, let's look at the figures. The first in political strength will be Edo South, followed by Edo North, and then Edo Central. So this is my view on the matter. Which of the political parties is going to be naive enough to present a candidate from Edo Central? All the other political party has to do is present a candidate from either North or South, and they've won that election. So unless all the political parties sit down at a round table and say, we are all going to give our tickets to somebody from Edo Central. The political factors do not favor anybody from Edo Central coming out as gubernatorial candidate for any of the major parties. Let me give you a simple example. Let's just say for the sake of argument that we go ahead and one of the parties, say PDP, decides to give their ticket to somebody from Edo Central, where would the deputy governor come from? Will he come from Edo North or Edo South? If he comes from Edo South, all APC has to do is bring out a candidate from Edo South, and they will win that election. If they choose somebody from Edo North as the deputy governor to a governor of Edo Central, all APC has to do is bring out somebody from Edo North, and they will win the election. So the simple calculation does not favor Edo Central. My view personally is we should put aside all these primordial sentiments that say Edo North, Edo South, Edo what. Let everybody who is qualified to contest come out and throw his hat in the ring. Let's use the words of the outgoing deputy governor. He said we don't need somebody who is going to come and experiment for another 4 years and then spend the next 4 years embezzling money and trying to set up business. These are the words of Philip Shaibu. We need the best hands forward to take over from Obaseki where he lives. Enough has been done to the psyche, the economic, the political, and the ethical psyche of the Edo people. Let's get a builder, regardless of where he comes from, regardless of his ethnic nationality. Let's get somebody that will bring people together and see themselves as brothers once again. Let's get somebody that will redirect the strength and weaknesses of the Edo people and bring progress again. That's what we're looking for. So, as far as I'm concerned, we need our best hands. Where it doesn't matter where they come from.
Okay, thank you, Ahmed. I think a lot of questions will be coming to you after this time, but let's quickly join you, our constitutional lawyer.
Yes.
You started it, yes, but you can see where the pendulum is swinging towards. Now, how do you react to what he said as regards Edo Central not having the political weight to pull that?
As a constitutional lawyer, I laugh when there are insinuations, when they are bringing morality, equity, fair play, etc. into it. From the beginning of the Constitution to the end, there is no word like zoning. In the Electoral Act 2022, there is no word like zoning. If you want to contest election, be fielded by your party, who count the votes. If you are qualified and good, or well and good.
Well, if there's no word like zoning, but don't you think that could be a way to look at towards bringing an amendment in that process? Because Chris Ojekiri said a whole lot about having this equity, which seemed to be thrown outside the box.
All those are speculative. After the Civil War, Ojukwu went on exile. He was pardoned by Shagari, he came back. No Igbo man can be more Biafran than Ojukwu. He had all the qualification, governor. He contested election 2003. He did not win. He contested again 2007. He did not win. Even in 2015, my brothers in the southeast were saying that it was their turn. It was their turn. All the parties held primaries, PDP, APC. No one fielded an Igbo candidate. Atiku, in the last election, people were talking of zoning. Buhari was from the north. Only Satana can take over. No Northerners should contest. Atiku came for the north, contested PDP primary, won that primary, and contested the election. He even came second. Nobody remembered the zoning. So it is very speculative to be talking of it. It's not in the Constitution. The Constitution has spelled it out, be a Nigerian citizen, be 35 years old, be fielded by your party. If you want to contest election, get your party to nominate you, contest the election.
But are you not concerned about the bad blood that it may bring up? In terms of a particular district not feeling being carried along in the whole process?
I said in 2015, my brothers in the south is talk of supposed bad blood. All the parties did primary. No party brought out an Igbo candidate. This is our candidate. They brought out other people. And when they so what do we do? So you allow the 18 registered political parties to bring out their candidate. It's not about shouting in the social media and speculating. If the party bring anybody out, you remember that Section 84 of the Electoral Act talks of political party primaries. In the primaries, it has to be direct, meaning that all members of the party will vote for all the aspirants. This is very cumbersome. We don't normally do direct primary. In direct primary, the delegates from the ward, local government, they will be the one to choose the party flag bearer. Or consensus ad idem, that the third. If all the parties, all the aspirants agree that Mr. A is our candidate, and the Electoral Act Section 84 sub C says that all those ones must put it in writing that we have hereby agreed for a consensus. So let them go to the primary, and the primary must be monitored by INEC, Section 84, ABC. So the matter of speculating, insinuating what is not in the Constitution, tribe, religion, zoning, division, region. I'm not a party of.
You have made critical remarks as regards the law, and quite appreciative. And
that insinuation.
Yes. And I think going forward, I think any political party
or
that would want to
campaign hard.
Yes. You've had your say.
It is your own. So go and campaign hard.
You've had your say. Now, Chris, going forward, I think from what we've just said here, any political party that will be feeding candidates will have to be very, very critical on how it feeds candidates. Most especially when you have the opposition, ready to take power.
For the sake
at every lapse they see.
Has about 5.
Okay, I'll come back to you.
Contesting.
Okay, I'll come back to you.
They have about 5.
Okay, I'll come back to you. No. I said that to say this. From the posture of His Excellency, the Governor of Edo State, who happens to be the leader of the PDP, there seems to be a direction in that aspect of having the Edo Central, being fed as a candidate in this, or even winning the election. But don't you see, like what Ahmed Modu said, don't you see there could be some setback if that happens, most especially when the party seems to be having some structural crisis?
You see, you can work on assumptions, but the disadvantage of working on assumptions is that in the course of your presentation, you defeat your own arguments. There is the assumption that only the majority tribe can win an election. If you say Edo Central does not command the figures to be able to produce a governor, neither does Edo North. The configuration is that Edo South has about 54 or 56 point something % of the Edo population. Edo North, I think about 26 point something. I can't get the right figure, but it's within this range. And Edo Central, 15 point something. So it means, therefore, that it's only Edo South that will be producing governor. That's the assumption in the argument.
No assumption.
No, not you, Daddy. Your point. Everybody knows you that your point is always from the point of law.
Yeah,
and that's why I situated my argument that I'm looking at the social scientific part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, the law, nobody in Edo State has stopped the law, and nobody has used the word zoning. I didn't use the word zoning. I said social equity. I'm talking of the humanities. I'm talking of people's emotions. I'm talking of people's feelings.
But it appears the Constitution does not carry that impact.
A sense of justice, and that is why we say the law is an ass. Lord Denning, one of the best lawyers in the UK, says the law should serve. It should serve justice. It should serve the people's needs. That's what the law should be used for. So the law must take account of people's emotions, feelings, and reactions.
But in this case, it seems not to be doing that.
No, it's doing that, and that is why the floor is open. And as Daddy had said, people from Edo South are contesting, people from Edo North are contesting. But you asked me a question. What's my opinion? And I said my opinion is that there should be equity. And I argued on the basis of that because I know that the Edo Central people have feelings. I know that they must have a sense of belonging for them to cooperate with the government. I know that they must feel a sense of equity for them to cooperate with the government. And that cannot be taken away from human affairs. And from society, and politics is it's a religion of society. That's what politics is.
Okay,
hold on, please. So if you neglect that, you create a political crisis. The lawyers will go to the court to begin to judge the case. But you have to deal with the political situations. And we're in the representative government. So if you say it is only majority tribes that should be producing a president or governor, the South will never produce a president. Because by configuration and by demographics, the North is far ahead. In fact, if you combine both Souths, according to paper demographics, the North is almost more. In the National Assembly, in the federal legislature, go and look at the constituencies. How many constituencies does the South have? The North almost have constituencies double that of the South. So the point is, politics in the field is different from politics in the textbook. Okay, but it seems... Yes, hold on. Yes, so politics in the field is different from politics in the textbooks. And then everybody who is a player in the field knows and feels this sense of equity and integration that I'm telling you about. So it's going to move that way. Now, what we are talking about, when we say let us look for the man that will do this and will do this, is it exclusive of Edo Central? Are we saying that you can't find somebody in Edo Central that is the man that will do this, that will set Edo State, that will do that and that will do that? That it's only when it comes from a majority place that we can have a man who will do that. And when we're talking about the man, let us look at the issues. What are the issues? What man do we need for Edo 2020 going forward? What are the issues in Edo State today that we need to fix? First of all, the point is, it's a highly, the political parties, for instance, that you have, it's highly polarized. And we know who are the gladiators in the political parties that are polarized. None of them is from Edo Central. Not to PDP. What is the problem in the PDP? What's the problem in the APC? Are they at the apex? Is Edo Central at the apex of these problems? We know those who are claiming to be godfathers in the PDP and trying to create another, what do you call it, empire within the structure which they love so well. But when it comes to a general election, we know where we'll come to those issues. We know where they served in the general elections. Okay. We know who are the two gladiators in the APC who have polarized the APC right now. Well, so when we are talking of demand, we are looking at the issues. What are the issues and who are the men on top of these issues right now? Okay, I'll come back to you. Yes. I'll come back to you. Yes. A lot you've said, and let's go back to Ahmed, because you made mention of the political weight in terms of the senatorial district, and Chris just also said that even if we come to that, the numbers are not even with Edo North, for instance. It means they are just with Edo South. And the governor of the state, His Excellency, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, has always placed himself in positions where you can say are unique places, even where others seem to see it as slippery. But he finds a way around it, and he gets victorious over this. Now, what makes you think that the governor wouldn't do another, milestone achievement in this direction that will make Edo people not just to vote because of senatorial sentiments, but they will vote out of the, impressions they have about the governor's legacy?
Well, Godwin Obaseki has deceived the Edo people one time too many.
No, you can't say that. You can't say that. Why I allow you on this, please? I must advise and I must warn that you be objective without necessary casting aspersions on any personalities. Just drive your points objectively, please. And I will want you to take back those words.
Godwin Obaseki has taken the route that you claim has been wise one time too many. Now, I think the Edo people are wiser than what you think it is. The simple matter of fact is this. In the event, like I said, very clearly, I'm a politician. In the event that the ticket is given to Edo Central, all the North and South have to do is to connive and agree that they will not support, and it will not go to Edo Central. Godwin Obaseki only has one vote. He may have power of incumbency, but I think the last election has shown you that the Edo people are wiser than a lot of the shenanigans that have been played before. The idea that
but in the last election he won, and it was as a result of the people coming out to cast their votes for him in that direction, in spite of the challenges that he had in the previous party.
Which election? No, which election?
The gubernatorial race, I mean.
One that Wike is here to tell you the results and how he acquired that result.
Well, we are not about that. We are about what INEC declared.
At some point in time, Wike is going to come and tell you how that result was acquired for the PDP.
Go straight to the point, please, Ahmed.
Let's look forward. Let's look forward. What I said is very simple and very clear. Edo Central by itself cannot produce the governor, regardless of who is pushing that narrative. The numbers, just all you need to do is, the statistics are with you, the figures are with you. There's no need to go on the back and forth. Now, as to the issue of what a godfather can or cannot do, unfortunately, the Nigerian constitution makes it mandatory for every candidate to have a godfather, whether you like it or not. So it is only self-deceit that would say you don't have a godfather. The political party is your godfather. The face of the political party is whoever sponsors you for that election. The Supreme Court has said you must be sponsored by a political party. And a political party doesn't have a human face. It's an individual that does it. So we are going to, at this point in time, have to come out and tell whoever is pulling the strings behind that what we are looking for is a candidate that has the best interest of the generality of Edo people at heart to drive forward the progress that has been lacking for the last 8 years. That is what we need to do. And at this point in time, it's very simple. Voter apathy will not count for much because we have seen the numbers that will push and decide where the governor is going to come from. So, where are those numbers? Primarily in Edo South, secondarily in Edo North, and then to a minute extent in Edo Central. Cold political calculations will not allow anybody to go and choose a candidate from Edo Central to drive an election without the numbers. That is all I'm saying. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm giving you statistical and cold calculations. So that is my own opinion.
Well, thank you. Let's get your reaction to this.
You, my contributor, tried to say that the governor was sympathetic to having a particular governor to be from a particular place. There is always an erroneous assumption that a governor is the party. It is not so. A governor is ab initio a member of a political party. He was fielded by that party. After the election, if you become a governor, you are still a member of the party. INEC has the names, addresses of the party secretariats. If there is a by-election, INEC will write to the party via the chairman and secretary and secretariat. INEC will not write to a governor that please help us to, we want to come and organize a by-election. So also a governorship election. A governor cannot conduct election. A governor cannot write to INEC that I'm writing from government house. This is the candidate of such and such a party. There's a difference. Political parties are very powerful in determining who becomes a governor. Section 84 says that they must organize primaries, and that primary must be monitored by INEC. It's not a good, it's not a all right. Then thereafter, section 92 is saying that for somebody to be declared winner in this election, the issue at stake are twofold. One, he must have the majority of the votes cast all over the 24 local governments. Then B, he should have 1/4 of 2/3 of the local governments. In Edo State case, there are 24 local governments. He should have gotten 1/4 of 2/3, that is 16 states. It is those ones that are relevant. Anything that is sentimental, parochial, insinuating that it belongs to this tribe, this church, this zone, I will not be a part of it. Let the constitution take its course. Anybody from a special zone who thinks it is his turn, he should go and campaign. Convince people. We did this after the 1979 election, when we wanted to conduct 1993 election. Abiola won election. He was not sworn in. The Yoruba, Professor Bolaji Akinyemi, all of them, they went around the whole world shouting that their man won election, you didn't swear them in. By that propaganda, the North, which has the numerical strength, they now sat behind. When the election came in 1999, the North did not fill the candidates. They allowed Satan to fill the candidate. It was Onufalai and Obasanjo. So whoever feels it is turn, go and shout that you have been marginalized. Also, so that the other parties will not fill the candidate. If they happen to fill candidate, as I said, Edo North has about 5 people campaigning. Edo South have people campaigning. If they allow them to campaign and they have more votes, so be it.
Well, thank you. In case you're just watching us, as this morning on ITV, and we are all about the EDO 2024 gubernatorial race coming up next year. And of course, we have been on it discussing with a constitutional lawyer, not Republic of Nigeria, in the person of Adam Saliu, who is one-time SSA to the governor of Edo State on legal matters, like he always says, strictly on legal matters. And of course, I've been having a discussion with Chris Ojekere, a political analyst, and of course, Ahmed Momodu. Now, let's take it deeper, and I will be coming to you, Chris. We look at what is before the governor of Edo State as the leader of the party, PDP. We look at what happened, you know, what transpired while he was in APC, and how he nosedived, and the people gave him that support to become the governor for second term. We don't know what he's going to do this time, but looking at what we also saw in terms of the role he seemed to have had with the deputy governor, which I believe must have thinned out, but I don't know if there will be some skirmishes still, just especially when just recently, yesterday, the deputy governor declared his intention to run. Now, my challenge is, how will the governor take this in terms of his relationship with the deputy? And again, do you see possible defection?
Now, please permit me, before I, as an Edo citizen, a very passionate one for that matter, before I go into this question, I find it very, you know, self-deprecating to begin to insult my governor and setting up somebody else as a standard. I mean, it doesn't improve your profile as an Edo citizen. I don't think there's any state, other state in Nigeria where I've seen that kind of thing. I mean, who is, a name has been mentioned, so I don't want to mention name, to come and tell us in Edo. We had this kind of impunity and arrogance in 2020 that made Edo people to say Edo not be Lagos. And we're getting it again in 2024. And we're going to stand up again to say Edo is an independent state. As Edo citizens, we can criticize ourselves. But to set up somebody who's, by which standards of comparison, it's a professional politician that managed to pass through law school with a world-class citizen of being polished, have seen the world, have held positions nationally before he came to stand. By which standard are we comparing? If not the standard of macho standards, toggery standards. I mean, it is a shame. We are Edo people, the children of Igodomigodo, who conquered West Africa and went as far as concrete. Right, I'll tell you the profile of Edo in the world. So I find it very, very insulting all the time when I hear somebody mentioning somebody who, for all intents and purposes, has a greater implication for being an inebriate, to begin to say that that person will come and tell us about Edo. In 2020, we had the same kind of impunity. And I'm getting into your question now. And then Edo stood up and said, Edo not be Lagos. Here we are Edo people, and we're going to take care of our destinies. And that's what we did in 2020. And that's what we're going to do again in 2024. So having said that, I want to refer to what Daddy said here about the North holding back and allow the South to feed candidates.
In 1993?
Yes, in 1999. What were they serving? They were serving equity. And that's why today we still have Nigeria as one. Perhaps the kind of eruption that would have, you know what, Operation Wet here, that happened that led to the Nigerian Civil War. 65, so 66. In politics, those things must be considered. So they were serving equity, and that has been my argument here. And now coming to what you said, the governor of the state, as you rightly said, is the governor, it's a member of one political party, and that is the PDP. It's not a member of the APC, and it's not a member of the Labour Party. And as Daddy have said here, everybody is going to come to the field. The governor as an individual has not publicly expressed his opinion to say, I'm supporting a particular candidate within the PDP. The PDP has candidates. And the governor has not come to do that. But there have been speculations have been rife. People say the governor seems to be tending towards Edo Central. They haven't said he seems to be tending towards a particular candidate. But even if they say so, that he's tending towards a particular candidate, the question to ask is, does the governor have choices? Is he, as an individual, does he have preferences? Does he have tastes? Does he have volitions? You cannot run away from these things. A man that has 7 children in his house may be as objective as he can be as a father, so as to maintain balance and peace within the house. But within him, he knows which child he seems to favor, in terms of their behavior. So, what is a governor? A governor, apart from being an individual, a governor is policies.
Okay.
The policies of governance. A governor is representative of the peace and unity of that state. A governor is a representative of development for that state. A governor is somebody who is supposed to think of the future of that state. It's one thing, he owns the state. Now, a governor is not supposed to be an irresponsible person who does not care about what happens to the state after he serves. So a governor should be thinking of what happens to the state. If, for instance, Obaseki has gone to bring in high-profile projects like the ethanol factory in Olobo, like Museum for West African Arts, like the Edo School of Nursing, which is Edo State School of Nursing Sciences, which is the best now in Africa. If he has gone to bring such high-profile projects like the Osama Power Plant, like the Green Hill Farms, and these are legacy projects that are not going to live and vanish from Edo State in 2024. If the government have established a tech park in the economy where you are training Edo engineers to be technologists, if the government have brought in this kind of project, and then the governor is not thinking of who is going to further this project, it means the governor is a pretender. It means the governor does not care. It means he just brought those projects for propaganda.
But aren't you bothered about the structural crisis that may be eminent in the party?
Structural crisis?
Yes, the structural crisis.
But Baba has just given you very clearly. The law has taken care of structural crisis. Are we to impose it? Structural crises happen when you don't have equity. I'm looking within the party. I am saying,
and looking at how the governor is going to tackle this. Because we don't want to have a situation where it will now turn out into that of the Plateau case, for instance.
You are saying we should borrow worry. The law follows your law. Which is your law? Your party constitution is your law. All you need to do is to follow the party constitution. And he has given us the 4 criteria for qualification. Anybody who meets these 4 criteria is qualified to contest the election. And once that is done, the people who vote, the Edo people who voted for Obaseki in 2020 sees that that is done. The Edo people will vote for the candidate. How many are members?
What about if it happens? What about if it happens that in the primaries, because we expect that there will be a level playing field given to other aspirants within the party, for instance, within PDP, for instance. What about if that level playing field is given and it happens to be another person that won the candidate from another senatorial district?
Are you asking me that?
I'm asking you.
I'm not contesting. So it is the aspirant you will ask. If you don't win the election or the party ticket, would you cooperate with the man who wins? It's not me. What is expected? What should be given? Is that if you're a party member, it is only 1 ticket, and you didn't get the ticket, you cooperate with the person for your party to win. Okay. If you deliberately come in to play subversive roles within the party, you will not only destroy yourself, you destroy your political career, you would have destroyed yourself. Okay. Because Edo State people are now watching for those who are the real players who want things to go right for Edo State, and who will play according to the rules and allow the rule dictate, and those who are paid elements to come and create subversive roles within parties. We are watching them, and we are able to identify them by their activities.
Let's look at possible political defections.
Yes.
Now, we remember what happened in APC.
Yes.
We have not forgotten that.
Yes.
And how the governor, defected to PDP.
Yes.
Now we have the deputy governor showing interest
yes.
to declaring
to
contest.
Okay.
The deputy governor, of course,
of Edo State.
Of Edo State, yes. Okay. So possibly, what you see that could pan out? Peradventure is not able to get a ticket.
No.
In what?
Within the party, within PDP. I'm
But
talking about the deputy
deputy
governor. No, I'm still with you. I'm
Okay,
still
you're
with
still
you,
with
Chris.
me.
Yes.
What do I think
What do you think could pan out? Do you see possible defection?
by the deputy governor?
Yes.
I don't know his mind. I should expect that since he's such a touted loyal servant, the deputy governor came to television to tell us that he is so loyal to the governor that he has decided to forget everything. That he will not cooperate with his master to finish strong. That is the last video I have of the deputy governor. That he has come so that what they started together in 7 years, he will finish strong with his master. And that he's a loyal party man.
Does that stop him from finishing strong?
Declaring?
Yes.
No, we haven't said so. You are saying that if he doesn't win.
No. I mean, yeah. If he
That
doesn't find his way
win,
to
so
getting a
if he
ticket
doesn't win
from
and
the party,
he now decides to leave, we'll play the video back to him. If you are a loyal party man, there's one ticket. If you don't get it, support the man who gets it. It's as simple as
But
that.
what about giving a level playing field for everyone to contest? And
Everyone is contesting. Is anybody stopping anybody from contesting from any of the political parties? I've not heard of that.
okay.
Everybody is contesting. Labour Party has several candidates, APC has several candidates, PDP has several candidates.
Okay, Ahmed Momodu, let's get to you and let's look at the aspect of possible defections. We've not had it right, you know. We've always been of this view that political defections seem not to be the right way in terms of having it all, because we look at what we mimic in terms of our democratic processes, looking at the developed polity where you have ideology in political parties. Do you see possible defection? Peradventure, the deputy governor is not able to get a ticket to run under the platform of the PDP.
The deputy governor was on a show, Journalist Hangout on TVC. And this particular question that you have raised was thrown at him, that what if he doesn't get the ticket for the PDP? What are his options? And to quote him, he said he's a friend of APC, he's a friend of Labour Party, and he's a friend of PDP. But for now, he assures the host that he will get the PDP ticket and he will be the flag bearer. And then the question was still thrown back to him, that what if he fails in that endeavor? He said, well, he doesn't see himself failing, but any option is open. So like I said before, I said it very clearly, every political party is a godfather. And the godfather of that political party is whoever the leader is at that point in time. Now, Nigerians would be naive to say we don't want godfathers, and any politician who says we want to kill godfathers is simply deceiving you, because you only replace one godfather with another. There will never be a power vacuum. Political parties must present candidates, and it is only political parties that can present candidates. So anybody who wants to run for office must go through a political party. Now, the unfortunate thing that we are going to witness happening is because Edo is an off-cycle election, so everybody is going to be focusing on Edo State. Hopefully, that is going to allow the participants be less bloodthirsty. Unlike the last election we had, that the royal father, the Omonoba, had to come out and tell them that the bloodletting was too much. We are hopeful that the preaching and the focus of this next election is going to be less on what is to be gained by the politicians and more on what the people will gain from service. So that is my primary concern from now. And Philip, this is a challenge to you and all of your colleagues in the media sphere. You need to start telling people that the focus should be less on strain, less on stress, and more on the brain. Let these people come out and tell us what they intend to do, how they intend to do it. This is what we should be emphasizing going forward.
Okay, but looking at defections and defections from one political party to another, I want your thought in this. Have you seen this growing democracy positively in Nigeria, and looking at the possible effect that it may have on Edo State politics?
Honestly, Philip, that's a very good question, and it's, for me personally, it's a very sad thing to see some of the defections that go on and how quickly it is done, how often and how shamelessly. There are several examples I can give you. It it is unimaginable for me to imagine, for example, somebody like Peter Obi, who is a lifetime capitalist, being the Labour Party flag bearer. That is a contradiction in terms that I'm still trying to grapple.
But again, Ahmed Mamadou, I would like you not to cast aspersions, okay? I don't have the right. I don't have the right. I don't have the right discussants with me on this.
I'm not.
So please leave out Peter Obi. Leave out Labour Party.
I didn't cast any aspersions. I simply gave you an example of somebody who is a capitalist. He's a lifetime capitalist. Now he becomes the flag bearer of the Labour Party. That's like the North Pole and the South Pole coming together. But you see these kind of things in Nigerian politics. The last election we had in Edo State, when the first time Pastor Eze-Iyamu and Godwin Obaseki faced off against each other, Eze-Iyamu was in PDP, Obaseki was in APC. By the time they faced off for the second time, Obaseki was in PDP, Eze-Iyamu was in APC. That is the nature of the politics of Nigeria. It's very unfortunate, it's very sad that you can just dip your leg into the pool and bring it into the other side. I believe that some constitutional amendments should be made to restrict people from moving across. It's not possible that you can have and share ideologies continuously across board. That may be part of the reason that we are not getting the best out of governance for our people, because we have politicians who one day declare to be Democrats and the next day they are Republicans. It's just amazing. But having said that, like I said, we need to continue to focus on this election that is right here, right now. We need to continue to insist that the Edo people get the best information that allows them to choose from among. We have so many talented people in Edo coming up for these elections. But this the contest must be driven by information, by facts, and by knowledge, not by brutish force, not by imposition of candidates, not by restricting the field. The deputy governor came out and clearly said that he has been imposed upon, he has been pushed to the wall. We cannot allow this in this election. There is enough space for every animal to fly. If you want to crawl, come out and crawl. You want to try its best for them.
Well, thank you. I think you've articulated your point. Big thanks, Ahmed Mamadou, for that. Let's go to you as we gradually wrap up. Let's look at your impression about political defections. We know that political defections brought us to where we are today. But do you see a possible way out of this quagmire?
Defection is an expression of freedom of movement and freedom of association, which is encapsulated in Chapter 4 of the Constitution. You are free to belong to any association. And I know a former vice president, he was in a political party. At another time, he changed to another party, and he came back to another party.
Is that healthy for democracy?
Well, it could be healthy, it could not be healthy, but it is not obnoxious, it is not offensive. One of the last presidential candidates used to be in Abga, won election there. From there to PDP, and from there to Labour. So,
for the very fact that we have that political, for the very fact that we have that, you just said it could be defective.
Yes.
It could be harmful to our democracy.
Yes, because
now, what you see as an amendment in that process to check it, because I think it should be seen as a political quagmire. You know,
because
it tends to bleed to our politics.
We are in
Nigerian democracy, democratic politics.
Yeah, the ballot paper bears only the symbol of a political party. It does not bear the name of a candidate or vice president or so. So it is the party that is important. So if somebody feels that it is through that party he can realize his objection, so be it. The ballot paper has no name of individual, no picture, only the political party. And it's just like the vice president, Oshibanjo. He contested primaries. Yeah, he contested primary in the last election. He did not win. He remained lawyer. So it is speculative to think that if a deputy governor contests primary, he doesn't win, he may defect. Even if he defects, it is within his constitutional rights, chapter 4 of the Constitution. Even the Evidence Act allows people to move freely of association.
Let's get your bite on political defection.
Well, I think for every game there are rules and there is exception. Yeah. The exception would be that there is gross injustice, as happened in 2020.
Okay.
And then if you have to defect from one political party to another, what value are you adding? In 2020, PDP was not only happy to receive a Obaseki, they were glorying that for the first time in so many years, PDP was going to produce a governor because of the value Obaseki was coming with.
When he defected.
When he defected. So, but when we hear some people now threatening defection, where are they defecting to? I mean, some people have some very, very oversized opinion of themselves. You want to defect to where? You want to go, for instance,
as I said, there are 18
registered political parties. But I think he has a reason for saying that.
Well, so what is for saying that? You are 11 player.
Are you saying that other parties may be closed? Are you saying that other parties may be closed against such person?
No, when you want to defect, to where you think you can use as a vehicle for achieving your ambition. And that's why I said...
Okay, you don't see other parties as a vehicle that could be used?
No, practically in politics. You cannot defect to a nondescript party today and think that within 2 weeks you are going to build that party to win an election. Let's be realistic. The point is that we have 3 realistic parties right now in Edo State. In this context, that's APC, PDP, and the Labour Party. And in APC, we know some people can't go there. In Labour Party, they can't go there.
Why?
I said some people can't go there.
Okay.
There are precedences and antecedents. There are precedences and antecedents. People, you see, when you have an oversized, arrogant opinion of yourself, you think that the people you have offended, people you have brought to global ridicule, people you have brought, in Edo North is forbidden in Afema to bring your father's blockers to the public and begin to play with it. And then you come and you begin to talk arrogantly. Now, some people can only have any form of relevance where they are. And the moment they leave that position, their relevance is lost. We are talking of governor of Edo State, a highly cerebral group of individuals that not only have sense of history, but they have sense of standards. So that's what we're talking about. We're not talking of some 3rd 11 play in Ogbe Stadium. So when we are talking of defection, what value addition are you bringing to a political party? That's why your defection will make any news at all. People are defected in this state, before the last election. Nobody knows the party they are in now. When you tell them this person is in this party, they say, okay, he left PDP. Oh, say yes, he left PDP. Or he left APC. Oh, yes, he left APC. Because you have no value at all. So when we are talking of defection, who are you and what are you bringing to the party? So that's what we're talking about. So when we say defection, there could be extreme cases. It happened in 2020, it was a revolution. And it's emboldened many other governors in other places to stand up for themselves, which is what people are mistakenly saying. I agree with Ahmed perfectly that you must have a godfather, if that is the name we choose to use for our leaders. Those who will lead, those who have the sense of direction to say, look, let's go this way. There are many things they can see that you don't see. So I agree with that. So if you say that you are moving, you must have something that will make the leader sit down and say, yes, let's give this person a leeway. Okay,
thank you. Quickly, let me say that in the course of one of our analysts talking about buttressing his point, he made mention of an adage that might have carried a word that may affect the sensibility of the viewers. We sincerely apologize for that. And now let's move on and to Ahmed Momodu. Now, we have this challenge where it's always been seen that government is a continuum, and a situation where we have a legacy or series of legacies being bequeathed by the incumbent governor, His Excellency Godwin Obaseki. There are thoughts that it will only be virile, it will only be, more objective if we tailor, or if the people, decide to toe along the line of the governor in getting a successor that will continue the legacies. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the only way that we can judge the future is by referring to the past. So the legacy that Adams Oshomole left for Godwin Obaseki, what did he do with it? And we must agree that if government is a continuum, legacies are things that people should be able to identify with and feel, see, and touch, and relate to. So if we are saying that Godwin Obaseki has left so many legacies, then it does not matter who goes in after him. What will be important is that the person that comes after him has the same content of character to build for the people, and then he will be able to build on whatever legacy he meets on the ground. So if we identify, if we all agree, I don't agree that there's that much legacy to build on, but that's an argument for another day. Now, if such a person comes in, look, the history, let me put it in a different way, Philip. The history of governors trying to introduce successors has never been successful in Nigeria. The history of Nigerian succession by their deputies or by even outside successors is replete with cases of fights, burning of local state houses of assembly, etc., etc. So why would anybody want to toe that path? I believe that this is a point where Godwin Obaseki should be able to come out and say, I want to be a statesman, and let my legacy be that I allow the people of Edo State to voice their choice, and whoever they choose, I will support to be governor. Otherwise, look at Rivers State today is not in flames. Look at Kaduna State, the same thing. Sokoto State, there is problem. Kano State is, I see. It is replete, it's all over the country. When this issue of succession comes up and the governor insists that he must put somebody, it never ends well. So maybe this is a time for us to look in a different direction. If Godwin Obaseki goes ahead and decides that he wants to put his successor, well, then that's his own choice. But I don't see it ending any differently. And my advice would be, please, the primacy of all thoughts and actions should be the best interest of the people of Edo State at every point in time.
Ahmed Mamadou, you still have the floor. And now we have a challenge where while Chris or Jekere had the floor, he made mention of some statements about the way someone may speak at a point where he was in a political party. And again, can such a person eat his words, in terms of casting aspersion to the parties that he formerly was into, why he left that party.
I heard it.
Now, looking at that, let's take that extract. You seem to have a soft spot for the deputy governor of Edo State, and to the point where you even took some extract from his observations in this episode, in this conversation. Now, what do you think could be of his person, or the impression that might have been that would be generated in future if it goes back to APC, for instance, where he came from, over his inability to clinch a ticket in PDP? Would you encourage that?
So I agree with both speakers, both of the previous speakers, the erudite gentlemen that you have there. On the one hand, I agree that going back to APC is going to be a very difficult sell for the deputy governor. On the other hand, I also agree that what defection is an expression of the free will granted by the Constitution. But now, how do we marry these two contradictory things? The contradiction here is that the deputy governor has burnt a lot of bridges to get to this place that he is. And I am afraid that too many of those bridges were burnt in a way that it will be impossible to rebuild. You heard the statement that came from Senator Oshomole, that he needs to go and settle with his boss. Even the deputy governor himself, in the statement he made 2 days ago, just a few hours ago, he was unwilling to be tied to APC or even the Labour Party. He believes that his political future lies with PDP. And we've seen clearly that the interest of the governor is not with the deputy governor. And like I said in my previous statement, this only leads to chaos, and the people who suffer are the people of Edo. So we must keep on calling these combatants and telling them, please, for the best interest of Edo State, sheath your swords. I don't know what Philip Shaibu has up his sleeves, but I don't see him going back to APC. He will not be accepted. His father's blockers has been exposed.
Well, I take exception to that word again. I take exception to that word. Big thanks, Ahmed Mamadou. I'm afraid I must call it a wrap quickly, but let's just get like 10 seconds final comments from you, starting with you, Adams Aliyu, our constitutional lawyer.
Well, the die is cast, and the elections we hold. We pray for peace, and that if anybody turns over to another party, it will not be brindisi or punitive. It is the party that is important in the election. That's why the party's flag bearer has no symbol, has no picture, only the symbol is the party.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Your final comments.
As a member of the PDP, we are assuring Edo State that will bring the best out in the primaries, who will understand the meaning of the investments and the policies that have been done by Obaseki, and will continue with them. Okay,
big thanks, Chris Ojekere. Big thanks, Adams Aliyu, for taking our time to be part of this. Well, big thanks again, Ahmed Mamadou, for missing your sleep to be on this conversation with us all the way from the United States, particularly Texas, Austin. Big thanks, Ahmed Mamadou, for that. Well, with that, we'll call it a wrap on today's TMI. Big thanks for taking part of that, and ensure that you are law-abiding, stay patriotic, and don't forget, we don't have another country. Nigeria is ours, and we must build democracy together. I'm Philip Omo Gupo, and I'm saying bye for now.